After the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has approved $1 billion, equivalent of 1.5 trillion naira, for the modernization of Apapa and TinCan island ports in Lagos. Peter Obi, former governor of Anambra State, former presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 presidential election, has called on Tinubu administration to ensure equitable distribution of port development in Nigeria. He has therefore again drawn attention to the neglect of other ports in Nigeria. And Peter Obi is doing this at a huge political cost. Don't forget that this same issue of port development was one of the things that the Tinubu supporters in Southwest used against Peter Obi in the last election in 2023, where they were alleging that if Yorubas or people of Southwest extraction, if they vote for Peter Obi in 2023, that it will mean that ports in Southeast Nigeria and South Nigeria will be developed, and then that will mark the beginning of the end of underdevelopment of Lagos, and therefore that it is a duty of people of Yoruba extraction to stop Peter Obi from emerging as president of Nigeria, because it will hurt the business in Lagos and all that. It was a blackmail that was used against it. But despite that, Peter Obi still has to come out to issue this statement to draw attention that, look, no country survives where you have the ports concentrated in one section, one part of the country, at the expense of others, and that ports should be spread across all the parts of the country to engender development, and also to decongest Lagos, to make things easier for Lagos, and to see to the growth of other parts of Nigeria. So Peter Obi was in this statement he issued, which we are going to look at. But before we look at that, before we go deep into the statement that he issued, which he commended the government for investing 1.5 trillion naira to improve Lagos port. But let us remind ourselves what Peter Obi passed through.
These are things that will change. Let me show you a WhatsApp. Let me read out the WhatsApp for you. Let me just show you a WhatsApp I sent to someone. Is there anybody here who can read very well? And everybody will join? Yes. This is a WhatsApp sent by Tinubu's group. No, read it out. I want you to read that. Everybody can.
Forward class left.
No.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Just read out what you said.
Yoruba, shine your eyes on. If you vote for Peter Obi, he's automatically voting for seaport in south and southeast. Then Igbos will stop coming to Lagos State to invest. Rather, they will go to Delta and River States. They may even stop building houses in Lagos. It will affect a lot of Yorubas.
Now, that is the video showing what Peter Obi passed through in the last election. Part of the blackmail they used against him in the last election, that if he's elected, that is going to decentralize port development in Nigeria, that should not happen, that shouldn't be encouraged. Okay, but that has not stopped Peter Obi, even though he has put his eyes on the 2027 election. Despite that kind of blackmail, he's still insisting that the right thing be done about port development in Nigeria. So Peter Obi is not a person who played to the gallery because of politics, because he may hurt some people if he say it. But and he let us go through some of the things he said in his statement about the need for the development of ports in Nigeria, and not just concentrating on developing or modernizing Apapa and TinCan Island Port. In a statement he issued titled "The Imperative of Diversifying Port Development in Nigeria," the imperative of diversifying port development in Nigeria, Obi welcomed the move as a positive step towards improving efficiency and embracing technology in Nigeria's maritime sector. However, he stressed that such initiatives must be guided by accountability, transparency, and fairness to all regions. According to Obi, the continued concentration of port development in Lagos reflects a long-standing imbalance in Nigeria's infrastructural investment. And he said, Nigeria's infrastructure investment remains excessively concentrated in Lagos, often at the expense of other strategic ports such as Warri, Port Harcourt, Calabar, and One. He said, if fully developed, these ports could enhance productivity, drive trade, create jobs, and open new economic corridors that will lift millions out of poverty across the Federation. Citing an example from around the world, Obi noted that countries which decentralize their port development have reaped enormous benefits. He said, let me quote Peter Obi again. He said, Vietnam operates over 300 ports distributed across the country. Indonesia has about 111 commercial ports. South Africa maintains 8 major seaports, while Egypt, Morocco, Algeria, and even Ghana have ensured their ports are geographically spread to promote balanced development. He explained. Obi also observed that 70% of Nigeria's port activities remains concentrated in Lagos, causing severe congestion, high demurrage costs, environmental degradation, and delays that increase the cost of goods and discourage investors. Obi maintained that developing other ports is therefore not merely an infrastructural concern, but a national imperative. He added, and I quote, he said, revitalizing Warri, Port Harcourt, Calabar, and One will decongest Lagos, reduce shipping costs, attract investment, create employment, and stimulate regional economies. Obi further emphasized the need for holistic reform of the maritime sector to tackle corruption, reduce bureaucracy, and embrace technology for seamless and paperless operations. He expressed optimism that if prudently managed, the Lagos modernization project could become a model for broader maritime transformation in Nigeria. And he concluded his statement by saying, now more than ever, Nigeria must rebuild with fairness. Nigeria must rebuild with fairness, guided by equity, integrity, and a clear vision to transform our nation from one of consumption to one of production and shared prosperity. That is a leader who understands development talking. And this is not rocket science. Only in Nigeria will people think, even in terms of security purpose, that a nation will concentrate its economic powerhouse in just one place. It's a security risk, leaving everything in Lagos, only Lagos port. Imagine what will happen if Nigeria have a war with another nation and they just take down Lagos. The country is crippled. Who does that? But that is what is going on in Nigeria. And Peter Obi is talking about, he's not talking about looking at it from my perspective, from the security perspective, if you have to go on that alone. But he's talking about equitable distribution. Equitable distribution and the need to have other parts of Nigeria develop. It's interesting that TinCan Island and Apapa modernization is going to consume 1.5 trillion. But President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has abandoned the port in Southeast. Peter Obi did not mention that one, but I'm mentioning it here. The port in Southeast that Buhari started, the dredging of Oguta River to the Atlantic Ocean, so that the Southeast, that constitutes the bulk of port users in Nigeria in terms of import and export, don't have to be going to Lagos, and also reduce the cost of transportation, because don't forget, Southeast command 70% of containers coming into Nigeria. But before they get to Southeast, they go by road. Why not concentrate on this? Why is it that this port, Oguta River Port, dredging of Oguta River Port to the Atlantic Ocean that was started by Buhari, why did Tinubu abandon it? Why? Why can't it be part of the modernization process so that Lagos can become decongested? Like Peter Obi pointed out, even though he didn't mention this one, the ports in the southeastern ports, he's talking about the One, the Port Harcourt, the Calabar port, the Ebon port, and all this that are neglected. These are far more important things to do than connecting Lagos with Calabar by coastal highway. There is no economic benefit in that compared to what Calabar will benefit if the Calabar seaport is dredged to be able to accommodate larger vessels the way they are doing in Lagos, so that people who are doing business in the parts of the east, southeast, that constitute the majority of those containers coming into Nigeria, they don't have to go to Lagos. Calabar is just a stone throw from the southeast, so that those who will be using Lagos port will be those who are doing business around Lagos and southwest. Those in the southeast will be using the ports that is in south, the eastern ports. You can use Port Harcourt port, you can use the Calabar port, you can use One port, you can even use Sapele port. Let all of them be developed. But a situation where you concentrate development in one section of the ports and leave the others neglected is what Peter Obi is talking about. I believe that most reasonable Nigerians, include people from Southwest, need to support Peter Obi's call about equitable distribution of ports development in Nigeria. Let us stop putting all our eggs in one basket. No nation develops like that. It is this kind of imbalance in development that is why Nigeria is a crawling giant, a laughing stock among community of nations. We are only big in population. I keep telling people, we are just big in numbers without any productivity attached to it. And this is because of injustice, lack of equity in the things we do. Because when we develop, everybody is carried along. Every section, whatever you have as your comparative advantage, the government is encouraging it. This country will blow, as they say in local parlance. But with people like President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, whose support groups share that kind of video on their WhatsApp that you saw, before the 2023 election and still have that kind of mentality, because it is that same kind of mentality that Tinubu is using in running the country, and that is what he's using also in approving 1.5 trillion to develop Apapa and TinCan Island Port without thinking about Calabar Port, without thinking about Ibom Port, without thinking about One Port, Port Harcourt Port, Sapele Port, Warri Port. All these other ports are being neglected. So how does a country develop when leaders have this kind of mindset and they are ruling with ethnocentric mindset instead of national mindset? I don't know what you think about Peter Obi's intervention, calling out the administration to ensure equitable port development in Nigeria at a huge political risk, because the people that shared this video before the last election, they're also going to share it again in the coming election, because Peter Obi has not changed. They are sharing those videos before the last election did not stop Peter Obi now from also drawing attention to the fact that this country needs to develop holistically and not being developed selectively. No nation does that and succeed and survive in the long run. I don't know what you think about Peter Obi's latest intervention, but whatever is your position, let's hear from you at the comment section. Thank you for watching this video, and if you are new to my channel, you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel, hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you. Don't forget to like this video, because when you like it, Google will rank it high and recommend it for more people. Thank you, and God bless you and yours.